Astrea, Pax, you dive. Pax.
Just to make sure, because just to be precise, Tria just like Pax removed everything that's extra on her.
What have you
person.
kept? What have you kept?
I mean, I don't have a swimming speed, so any physical weapons would be useless. So Mace Shield stayed on board. The probably kept a knife or the other, and
so dagger.
yeah, dagger, and of course anything I need for magic. So
Which
a
at this
holy
level, which is basically just verbal, which is going to be interesting. Okay. Right. You dive. Here, as I mentioned, here as the it doesn't go very, very deep. The waters are fairly dark as opposed to the open sea. But the ether glows just enough so that you can see the remnants of this broken brigandine. How you mentioned at some point that you were going to sort of stop at a certain point and then maybe one of you move forward. So maybe Astrea staying outside the ship and Pax going in. Is that what I remember?
Yeah, Tria is actually wanting to first swim above the ship to have a look, so not having to dive and hold her breath. And then serve as a in the water lookout in some way for Pax while he dives, and just having a way to estimate the state of the ship, because 10 meters is deep but not that deep. I still can have some sort of vision on what's happening.
Okay. Sure. So you swim out onto towards about sort of just above the ship. Astrea, you're sort of threading water, sort of looking underneath. Pax, you dive then?
Yeah, I will dive down again.
Okay. Astrea, make me a perception check.
Seriously?
Okay. And Pax, this time you can make me an investigation check.
Sure thing. It's a 5.
Okay.
Investigation and perception are not my forte, guys.
Everything is good. Everything is fine.
Everything's fine.
Perception is supposed to be my forte, except when I roll a 3 and a 4.
Yes. Well, we'll get to that.
Pax is just pretty much. Could we have said that we have pre-established a couple of like hand signals, for example, like 1, 2, and 3 for the 3 locations, like 1 being the gunnery, 2 being the crew's quarters, 3 being the captain's quarters, and then obviously like the OK sign, or the abort, like get out, or get up, you know. Right, I think Pax will just dive down, not really noticing a change to the situation when he was down there before. He's gonna look up towards Astrea, make the figure 3, indicating to the captain's quarters, and then point down to the deepest part of the ship, indicating he's gonna go from the bottom up.
Okay.
And start going low to see where he can find an entrance to that captain's quarters that seems accessible.
As you dive in, there's a couple of things that seem evident in a way. Where the first is that Well, not all. As you're looking through, you've seen ship combat. You've had your fair share of moving planks to filling holes. This ship has known battle. Right? This is, you can see the marks and the scars of something that the Brigandine is already itself. The Brigandine is a ship made for mobility and speed, but technically it is built for war, right? As you're looking to the side, you can see that there are most of the gunner ports either closed, but you can see there's quite a few here. As you're moving towards the back of the ship, a bit deeper underwater, into the ether, you can see that the door is still as it was before, is that it's slightly ajar, which seems strange. Actually, and as you look to it, you see that it's actually been propped open. As in, you find as you dive, the door sort of opens outwards from the cabin towards the deck of the ship. But the way the ship is inclined, it should close back just by its own weight. Yeah. But here it lies open, not by far, maybe about a meter wide. But as you look towards the bottom, you notice that there's been a nail has been nailed there to keep that door propped open.
Okay. I think just keeping the boarding axe at the ready, Pax is going to move forward. Having in the back of his mind, this probably has been looted, but he still wants to go in, see what he can find.
As you look about, we're not normally, so this whole section has timing, right? As in, if they take a minute or whatever, we don't care. Pax is, with 15 minutes of breath, Pax has ample time, right? As you move about to the captain's quarters, you find everything here, the wood has started to rot away. You can, anything that has sort of gone metallic has started to rust in the same way it would have done, maybe less, not as quickly as it would have with salt water, but you're definitely starting to see the effects. You can see that the cabin is fairly richly appointed, though anything that would have been painted is now run off with time. Everything has sort of dulled to any shining metallic surfaces have been dulled off, and you can still see sort of remnants of pulp where books would have been or whatnot. As you search around, there's not, as you said, there's maybe not much here. You do find after maybe a minute or two of searching, one thing is among the floorboards underneath the captain's chair, there was a hidey hole. There was a safe. The safe is opened, still propped up with one of these long nails, a bit like a piton in a way, and it is empty.
When I look at the state of corrosion on the nail in comparison to the state of corrosion on
pretty
the
much the
bolts
same
that I've seen, pretty much the same? Okay.
What you do find is, maybe as you're looking through maybe a drawer here, a cabinet here, you do find that there's a small, I guess this would have been glass, sort of a glass presentation, sort of a glass display, sorry. And while you sort of wipe away the grime from it, you find inside there's a small little ivory statuette of an astral merfolk. The details of this little piece of ivory is to the point where this is not it feels like a portrait, as in the details on the face, the hands, the gills seems to be sufficiently precise as this is made of someone. This is not a generic merfolk, which almost is confirmed where right next to it you find a small brass locket opened, and find in scrimshawed ivory as well. This time you have to sort of wipe the grime away, but the portrait, a cameo basically, an ivory cameo of a merfolk corresponding to the statuette. Other than that, this has been picked clean.
I think Pax is going to try to get the glass case open to take both the amulet
very
and
easy,
considering it's completely worn by time, just forcing the rotten wood at this point
Yeah.
to just crack inwards. Snatch the figurine, the amulet, just tuck it behind my sash on my trousers. Take a brief look around at this point just to see if I see signs of combat inside the captain's quarters, like a clean slash in a beam of wood, or a scourge blast mark on a wall or something like that.
No,
Before I would
nothing.
leave.
Yeah, there's nothing of that nature here. No.
Okay. So I'm gonna head out from there, and knowing the crew I'm hanging with right now, safety first. I think since Pax has the speed, he's gonna quickly swim up to catch a breath, probably around the time Astrea will have to as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Astrea is basically treading water, right? As in she's head above water, then puts her head down, and this is maybe taking you maybe 3 minutes, right? So 3-4 minutes.
All right. Captain's quarters has been looted clean. Even the safe beneath the floorboards has been picked, but it probably happened around the same time the ship sank, if not before.
Good to know.
We'll just grab the locket and the figurine and press it into Astrea's hands. Crew quarters or gunnery quarters next? Your call.
Gunnery first. Well, gunnery was the topmost, or
Yes,
quarter?
gunnery is the top one. Yeah.
Let's keep going in order. If you feel like the crew quarters or something you can handle, but I've got full trust in you. So
As long as the
your
ship
call.
doesn't move, shouldn't be a problem.
All right, let's go.
And at that point, Pax submerges again.
Okay.
Quick question. How far is the reef on the other side?
I would say maybe 50 meters. I mean, it's a mile. I mean, we've got the doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I guess surface level, let's say around 30 meters.
Okay, because Astrea is actually going to get out of, just get onto the reef instead of next to the ship's
To the
head.
figurehead, or the figurehead. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
next to the figurehead, and is going to keep an eye out from there if possible.
Okay.
Just because at this point it's easier, and for her it's going to be less tiring as well. So
Yeah, of course.
Let's just get on the other side, but that way the ship is covered on both sides by Farron and Gizmo on one side and Astrea on the other.
Farron and Gizmo can see the surface, but it's very difficult for them to actually see underwater. But yes, you both see sort of Astrea sort of thread water up until the other side onto the and sort of climb the figurehead. Okay. Make me a perception check, Astrea.
Yes. Come on. Nice.
Okay.
Now we're cooking.
Yes, that's very good. Very good.
I mean, in the water is not Astrea's preferred space.
Fair. Pax, as you dive again, now you're basically the tail sort of propelling you through the water. You come to the sort of a lower deck. This time you basically move into the belly of the ship itself. The crew quarters are sitting sort of midship. It's easy for you to get into it because there's a huge crack in the deck itself, which allows you just to slip in. Again, as you're looking through here, you find a couple of doors. All of them have been sort of closed shut by gravity and sealed with grime and other sort of because even if the ether doesn't allow the same kind of sea life, you still have that sort of accumulation of grime and little things that sort of, well, it has its own ecosystem in a way, kelp and such. So
corrosion as it is.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you're trying to you find your way, especially since you start seeing damage and repairs on that damage. But there's something a bit peculiar where you start realizing that there are planks that are missing from the walls. And I'm not talking about damage that has been sort of impact damage. You can see that there are places where you can see where two planks would meet. You see the holes or where the nails would be, but the adjacent plank is missing.
So they've been deliberately removed.
Yes.
Okay.
And you're starting to see that there are, as you sort of move back, there's a whole section of the side wall of the ship where these planks have been removed. So as you come down sort of southward and you're moving up, you can basically see around. It's like an open screen. You pass through and you're realizing you could have get to the bottom. You could have gotten to the belly of the ship by going to the other side.
Yeah.
You also notice that a lot of these planks would have been taken from, I guess this would be starboard, opposed to where most of the battle damage is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So somebody, if deliberate, somebody has been harvesting undamaged planks and woods.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes?
Go ahead.
No. So, sort of moving through that open space, you manage to get into the crew quarters themselves. Here, you can see it's chaotic, messy, as in you need to go in sort of a bit more cautiously, because with the amount of stuff that is just floating here mid-ether, it is difficult not to get caught into it. This would be a danger for anything sort of swimming through. Fortunately, you have a bit of experience in that. You can see that there are footlockers here and there. Most of them closed. You don't feel like anything here has been shifted around other than just by the currents and the buoyancy of these objects. But do you want to sort of look around?
Yeah. Pax is going to take his time to go through. I think he's going to try and find the crew quarter that is the closest to the bridge, like whatever logbox would still be nearest to the quarter, the closest to reaching the deck, and then up to the bridge. Because usually that's an officer's quarter. When the captain's quarter was empty, this might hold some information. And he's essentially going to go for the logbox, check how intact it is at this point, and how heavy it feels when he's trying to lift it.
Okay. You know where this lockbox would be, right? This is fairly... I mean, this ship itself is... The legend before going Drake would have been of Imperial make. And so you've been on one of these ships like this, of this size, and so you know exactly where to go. Thank God for standards, right? As you move deeper into the crew, into the crew's quarters, you do find that officers. You sort of make your way. Again, you have these sort of hammocks that are sort of floating around like specters and like ghosts around you. As you make your way through them, sort of leaving them agitating, almost like if you were sort of making them restless just by your presence and by moving through them. As you get to that final sort of small, officers usually have their own little room in a corner. The door here has been again propped open with one of those nails. And as you look in, you do see that the safe, the lockbox has been broken open. Contrary to anything else that you would have seen previously, here it seems that somebody came in, broke it open, and took it. Now, one of the things that you're wondering is, did you come to the right conclusions where you're telling to Astrea that this had been looted pre-sinking? With these nails preventing the door to close, but are set up according to the ship's new angle, you're pretty sure that this was somebody diving and making sure that that door or something did not close behind them.
Mm-hmm. I think Pax is just going to take the first closest logbox that isn't broken in at that point, almost as if a lottery grab loot box, and bring that up as he goes for the second report to Astrea. Probably bobs up where Astrea was before, moment of looking around. For heading up to the reef and the figurehead.
You can hear a quick whistle, and Astrea calls for your attention.
Very sharp, by the way. As soon as you whistle, it's pretty much like a dog whipping its head around with Pax before he starts swimming up to you. Pulls the logbox up, just hold himself on a rock of the reef. Same thing. Officer's quarter is looted. However, I think this ship was plundered after it sank. Most of the starboard hull planks are gone. Deliberately removed. Port is filled with holes. This logbox is of a crew member. I don't know what's inside. There's a lot of them still closed down there.
I'll heave it up onto the reef and say, can you keep an eye out to see if, because the crew would have been on the side here, would have been on the island here, so maybe they came back. It was the nearest source of carpentry, and they might have hoped to be able to build a ship with the rest what was left of the ship.
Well, I'm yet to find a skeleton of some sort in the ship, so the story tracks so far.
And if they knew where their valuables were, they might have just gone back to take them. We've seen
Whoever looted the ship knows what they were looking for.
The crew is the most likely option.
Sounds like I'll check the gunnery next.
Yep.
Both of you, make me a history check.
Another skill I'm great at. 12.
I mean, Astrea isn't bad at history.
I mean, I guess, Astrea, you would know this. Pax maybe not have been briefed. But there's something that maybe just comes to mind, sparks back in your memory as to the identity and the nature of the captain of the legend. As in, Emil Markov was a merfolk.
That checks and that tracks and that makes a lot of sense.
And one of you, I believe, had that secret brief to them. Check your secrets, people.
That was not mine, I think. Where did you put it?
Oh, I think that, I told you to put that in your notes somewhere. At the very beginning, I think this was character creation.
Yeah, no, that's not mine.
Are we within reach of this conversation?
No.
No.
This is over 30. This is over 30 meters away on the other side of the rift. You can barely see that. You can see them, but I mean, you can barely. And again, sound of the waves and that kind of thing. So you are not hearing this conversation.
All right, never mind then.
Farron, Gizmo, please make me perception checks.
Yes.
Do I want to do that now? No, sorry, wrong click. Wow. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I will still sort of reveal that to the public so that they can see. Right.
That is evil.
Shit. Oh, shit.
Exactly what you want to hear.
No.
So
I look at Farron and I'm like, all good here.
All quiet on the Western Front.
Last dive, Pax?
Before he dives, Pax just looks at Astrea. Last location's not that deep. Want to come with?
Do you need it? Because otherwise I've got a pretty good view of what's happening here, and I can keep an eye out for the larger open water.
See, Pax nods, shrugs his shoulders, and he's like, "You're there, Captain," and then dives under.
Pax, what's your passive perception? Astrea, what's your passive perception?
11.
A good one. 16.
Okay. Right. Pax, you dive. Again, this is the shallowest part. This is the upper part of the ship. Pretty much exactly where the break happened. Right? It's just that previously, as you swam through it to get to the quarters, you didn't really stay that long next to the gunnery ports. This time, as you head down, you can see that with the shifting of the ship and the rotting of whatever rope or or different means that they had to sort of stabilize the cannons, these have broken away, and a lot of the cannons have sort of shifted downwards. There, as you look to them, you don't need to be Gizmo to understand that these are ruined beyond repair. Right? The ether has attacked the metals. Some of them have almost gone porous, but there is definitely, you can see that this was, and again, here the battle damage is evident, right? You can see darker shades in the wood around where you would have scorch marks. It almost looks like inside of this room where you are, maybe fires broke out or something along those lines, maybe a sort of flash. And then you start realizing that a lot of the debris around here, the sort of floating, seems to be barrels of gunpowder. And you remember how gunpowder reacted to the ether.
Yup.
And as you're sort of looking through, again, no bodies, no skeletons, no sign of life. This is just an empty ship. But again, signs of disassembly. Something has been coming here and sort of wreaking. And you actually do find here, you actually do find a crowbar still sort of stuck in between two planks, as in if somebody sort of tried to go and decided, I'll leave this for later.
Pax doesn't think twice. He moves over to the crowbar because everything else has been a dud. Mm-hmm. Takes a moment to look around himself before he's gonna, where it is exactly, just go to apply the leverage.
As you omit, there's nothing underneath. This is just, or what would be underneath would be the bilge, right? As in, so there's no, it's not, you realize as you're pulling up, you realize that you're not trying to get underneath. The purpose would have been to gather the log itself. And this one seems to have, either by preservation or just sheer luck, have survived the effects of the ether better than others. As in, this still seems to be fairly a sturdy piece of wood.
How big is this log? Would be one.
This would be maybe. This would be me. I mean, it would be. It would be sort of a center. Not a log. It's more of one of the beams, right? So this would maybe be about 10 feet.
Okay. I still have my rope attached on me, right? Mm-hmm. I think since it's the last location and Astrea is right above me and I'm in the shallow part, so I'm assuming they could have visual on me. I'm gonna I'm gonna bring the beam out of the gunnery area, untie my rope, tie it around the beam, and tug twice because it's useful wood at this point. So
you tie your rope around it, tug twice?
Yeah. For the guys on land too.
Yeah. So Farron, Gizmo, you feel the alarm bell go off, and you start pulling.
Yeah, we start pulling.
Okay. All of a sudden, you're wondering what's going on because Pax is heavy, very heavy. All of a sudden, reminder: you have no idea that what you're pulling up is pretty much a beam. This beam of wood.
Yeah, but as I'm heading up, I think. Couple of seconds later, my head would pop out of the water.
I would also say that in that sort of, as you're moving things around, the debris sort of shifts, and you see, surviving by some miracle in the ether in the battle, you do see one of these kegs of gunpowder. Which protection and enchantment seems to have held these years.
If Pax could go pale, he would. I think that he's gonna push forward himself. He's not gonna tie that around a rope and have it pulled. Mm-hmm. He's gonna... this is explosive shit. after having ensured that the barrel doesn't have a fissure anywhere.
No,
That
it would have been
look
immediate. The fact that it is there as it is, it means that its integrity is still intact.
Then I think he's going to try and navigate it outside of the actual wreckage, using the reduced gravity of the ether, where it's just gonna try and keep it floating very slowly, very gently forward.
It's not as buoyant as you are, for example, so it will take a bit of a kick to go up. But definitely... Here's the thing. As you are moving upwards... Well, let's put this another way. Astrea, you've been keeping an eye out for any sort of danger, whatnot. And the idea, as the way I imagine it, is that the rope that is around Pax's waist, you sort of set up a buoyancy, sort of a pulley system, right? So that it goes across the water horizontally and then goes straight down, right? So basically like a floater. And you see at one point, you see this being pulled twice down. You can see that the little flotation device that Gizmo had set up basically bobs up and down, sort of signaling, alerting that something's wrong. Because that was the signal.
Yeah. Which is when...
to pull up.
Yeah. As you sort of... What do you do, basically?
That's... Can I see what's happening from where I am at the prow of the ship?
Yeah, I think that you can. Well, if you put your head under the water, you can see you can see the line go down again, because the water itself is luminescent. There is no. Yeah. There's not that moving into darkness at all. But yeah, you do see the thing sort of going down, and you can see indeed that Pax is sort of has tied this beam, the rope to this beam, and sort of helping it upwards, all the while holding a hogshead, so the small little barrel, which by coloration, by markings, this to be gunpowder. Because in no ship, in any country, in any faction, is there any doubt as to which is a water barrel, which is a food barrel, and which is an explosive barrel? Right?
They have a very specific form, size, and shape. Well, color, size, and shape. As in,
they're actually, they don't roll as well, right? They're sort of very sort of squat-ish. So that they don't roll around. They're also usually painted red, right? Because red barrels explode. And you can definitely see him sort of carrying this under the... However, you also notice, and I think this is where I'm going to honor that 21 of yours, because I also rolled a 21 on stealth. As you move, as you're sort of looking about, you see that there's just a slight movement that catches your eye. It's sort of a green glow. Something that you had not previously noticed about the creature that had attacked you. But very quickly coming out from not the shadows, but the shimmer of the ether, is something that has adapted to its color, by its coloration, by its natural instinct. And you are faced with, and I apologize for having spoiled it before, but yes.
It's gorgeous though.
An astral marrow. Let's say it is.
Yeah, sure. Let's say it is gorgeous. Sure.
Yes.
Let's go with that.
There is beauty in danger.
It's terrifyingly beautiful.
As it moves up towards you, there is that moment of recognition as this is the thing that attacked you. But somehow, maybe it is here illuminated the way that it would signal its presence. It was muted when it attacked you, so that as if that inner glow that is now showing, when it hit you on the shore, it knew how to cover itself up, how to hide itself. But here you find it luminescent, most likely in its territory, and it looks to you and attacks. I'm going to have Astrea and Pax roll for initiative now.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna need a token item.
Well, if you notice on the right-hand side of the map, you do have your tokens.
Right-hand side of the map? Nope. I don't see anything.
Oh, are these on the GM layer? They are on the GM layer.
I think so.
They are now...
Because
Why that?
the parent just appeared, but yeah, the rest of the characters didn't.
Okay, and I will roll for initiative here as well. As the
Seriously?
Well, I mean...
I could have a critical initiative, but...
So this is there's no battle map, and by the way, this is in 3D, right? So as we stand right now, Astrea, the astral mirror, is right on top of you. Technically, the only reason why, I mean, okay, with the 12, even with, Jesus Christ, my mirror, why do you do that?
Okay.
Initiative, I did the failure on it had. Anyways, doesn't matter. Even if I had given you disadvantage because of the surprise, you still rolled so well and me so badly. But I will say this: you are Astrea. The astral mirror is pretty much up on you. Pax, we said what 10, 15 meters. So you're about 45 feet away from Astrea right now. And Gizmo and Farron, well, good luck actually figuring out what's going on as you are pulling this beam, because that's the urgent situation that you've been given.
So we agree that the marrow is actually has come within touching distance?
It would be about, let's say it would be about 20 feet away from you.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
Knowing that it is literally in open water coming up from below, and you are basically hanging onto the shore, basically looking in, right? You're at the figurehead, sort of putting your head in the water.
Yeah.
So, Pax, what do you do?
Is Pax aware of this, like the luminescent green light and then sudden movement?
Make me a perception check.
Oh boy. 11.
Yeah, I don't think you. I think you're still working with the beam, so I don't think you notice.
Yeah, my intention was, however, after I tied the rope to the beam, of course I found the gunpowder barrel, so I'm a bit slowed down, is to go up to bob my head out and to give the okay signal to the shore that they know it's not danger. So I think not having noticed this, Pax bobs up, but with the back of his head towards Astrea getting attacked, looking towards the shore, going like, "Not an alarm, just supplies, it's all good."
I love that. I love that. Well, the alarm is actually happening right in there at the back. Okay, yeah. Astrea.
She's not going to be
Speaking
discreet.
free, can Astrea yell at me and then maybe I can do something?
Astrea, currently, I would imagine that you are fully... I mean, you would be maybe sort of...
I am casting a spell.
Okay, you're casting a spell. Right. How do you... Oh, gods. What's about... Does it have a verbal component?
It is verbal and somatic, but then again, I just have my head in the water, so just lifting it up slightly would be an option.
So, two things. I'm going to ask you to make a choice. Either you raise your head out of the water. Well, no. Here's the thing. I will ask you. I will have to ask you 2 rolls. There's a Constitution saving throw, and then there's the attack roll. Because verbal somatic in the ether means potentially swallowing ether. If you do it underwater, I'm going to have you roll that Constitution saving throw with a disadvantage. But if you have the head above the water and you are targeting a creature
in the water,
that will be with disadvantage because technically they have, it's more difficult to aim from outside, refraction and that kind of thing. So, which do you want to risk?
What's the...
I need a decision. Before I tell you what the DC is, I need a decision.
No, I'm just checking very specifically the wording of one spell. Haven't used yet, but I wanted to make sure. Okay, Astrea is actually going to get her head out of the water.
Okay.
And as she uses a voice... okay, so first question. Am I still able to see the mirror now that I have spotted it?
Yes.
Can I still see it?
Yes.
Even above water?
Yes.
Okay, because command is one of those funny spells where it is a verbal component, but it doesn't care if the creature actually hears it or not.
That is not true.
As long as I'm able to see it...
It still needs to understand you.
Wait.
Or at least hear the... you speak a one-word command to your creature you can see within range. It must succeed a wisdom saving throw or, approach, whatever.
There's nothing specified about hearing, understanding, or whatever. So that's why I wasn't going to ask.
I will give it advantage on the roll. I will give it advantage on the saving throw, basically. With regards to
I will.
Understanding is one thing. Hearing is another.
Yeah.
Could maybe somebody else, Gizmo Farron, could you please look it up? As in, what does command work if the target cannot hear? Because I don't think.
Where's my trident of fish command when I need it?
So you speak a one-word command to creature, target must succeed.
Okay.
Okay. The spell has no effect if the target is undead, if it doesn't understand your language, or if your command is directly harmful to it. I
mean, understand. I would put in here.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, it's just to be sure. Because I wasn't clear just by the text.
No worries.
There's been some changes in 5.5.
Yeah.
The requirement.
I need to adapt. Yeah.
The requirement that the caster knows that the target knows the caster language and not be undead, that's been removed. And only preset command words are allowed instead of you might issue a command other than the one described here. So that's another parameter you might want to consider.
Yeah, you can't say poop.
No, I'm just going to go for a guiding bolt.
Okay.
And we have the necessary potions in case of it. So I'm gonna do it with a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Yeah. Disadvantage on Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh dang, that's not good.
Okay. Yeah, you swallow water.
Yeah, I guess.
But make your attack roll.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah. As you...
That roll is abysmal. No, yeah. Literally abysmal.
Yeah, that's a 6 and a 5. Yeah, as you fire the bolt, there is the ether sort of. Here's the thing, the ether lights up, right? The guiding bolt, which is usually just I mean, what does your guiding bolt usually look like, right? Just a ray, sort of a.
It's not very visible.
Mm-hmm.
As a lot of Astrea's magic, it's actually more a twinkle and a little bit of darkness that absorbs light, almost. But with twinkling, like it's the tail end of a shooting star.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I see it.
So it's fairly discreet as magic goes.
This isn't. As in, this looks like a light bulb going through fog. As it illuminates all the way, it misses, right? But for a flash of a second, it takes up so much light. Probably there's an interaction with the ether that you're not exactly sure of, but it is enough to illuminate. And Pax, you see this. There's a flash of light coming in from behind you. Gizmo and Farron, you are close enough to see it as well. Whereas for a moment, you do not see Astrea's head. There's a flash and she just raises again.
I'm coming up coughing.
Right, you realize
sputtering.
You realize what's going on, and I think Pax, in this way, as you look up, yes, you can see that green monstrosity of the astral marrow.
And as Astrea comes up, sputtering and blowing out ether, she's gonna say, "Merfolk."
That is an insult to Merfolk, but I do not know if you know exactly what that it corresponds.
Well, yeah, no, but I mean, it's close enough that.
Anyways, as it rushes towards you, it is actually going to do pretty much the same thing it tried to do previously, which is going to grab you, pull you away. But this time you're already head underwater, so it is going to make 2 attacks as it moves towards you. So it is going to go.
She went back up, but
yeah. Well, you're still, even if you're climbing on the figurehead, this thing is going to leap out, grab at you, and basically make an attack. So that's a bite attack, which is a 21, and a bone mace, which is a 7.
The 7 doesn't hit, but the 21 does.
So as she rushes, jumps up, there is a flash of bone. Well, these not bone, cartilage. Needle teeth basically sink into your shoulder, and that is going to be 8 piercing damage. And Gizmo and Farron, you notice as this creature jumps up from the water, grabs her, and basically pulls her back into the water. And so you can hear the splash. And so currently, Astrea, you are considered grappled with the marrow, which is now slowly sort of wrapping its tail around you.
Well, maybe not everything was okay in the end.
Start moving towards the water.
Pax, you are up.
This guy's a problem right now. Yeah, no, she's more important. Since I came up, I'm at the buoy, right? And you said that the rope was on a pulley on the buoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I just don't even care if it's nicely wrapped. I just put the barrel around the rope and I dive down after Astrea. I'm not taking, like, I want to do an item action. So if it's bad and the barrel sinks in...
Yeah, that'll be your action. Yeah, make me a sleight of hand. Let's do it like that. Quick Sailor's not. Yeah, the Quick Sailor's not. You manage to hook the barrel onto the rope, which is now going slack as basically Gizmo and Farron have let go. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to just dive into the water after them. Mm-hmm. How far away are they from me approximately?
I would say it'll take your movement.
Yeah, sure. Awesome. Then I'm going to go in for my movement, and I'm going to use my attack action to grapple this marrow.
Okay.
I don't want him to get any further away with Astrea.
Okay. Go for it.
Where's my actions? There, unarmed strike.
That is a 26.
20.
Make the attack.
But it's
Oh right, no. So yeah, so you're grappling.
I
yeah.
grapple.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to action surge. And as now his movement is 0, I'm just going to go for the boarding axe onto the tail that's starting to wrap around Astrea and just try to cleave through it.
You are not at disadvantage because you happen to have a swing speed.
Awesome. 25 to hit.
25 is definitely a hit.
9 slashing damage.
9 slashing damage. Okay, noted.
And then I'm going to use my...
It is actually going to use a reaction. Okay. As you slash at the spines, it looks almost like one of those dragonfish, right? So these long spines. So it is actually going to make a spine attack, venomous spine attack, which is an 18.
Hits.
Let's see. Right. So. So that is. Ooh, Jesus. Okay. Right. That's max damage. So at some point, as you slice it, one of the tail spines goes directly into your gut. You take 11 piercing damage, and I need a Constitution saving throw, please.
All right. That is a failure.
That is a failure, which means that as soon as that neurotoxin hits you, you go paralyzed.
Bye, guys.
And as it hits you, you just go. You can feel the cold go right through you, and you can make another. Check at the end of your next turn. But you are paralyzed currently. And poisoned. Jesus, I had not seen the paralyzed thing. Right. So, and fortunately, you can hold your breath.
For 15 minutes.
I mean, let's say that if you had stayed underwater all this time, it might be an issue. But considering that you've gone back, you're maybe 5 or 10 minutes in. You still have 5. You still have maybe. No.
He was just up.
Yeah, exactly.
He was staying there. Yeah.
Yeah.
He just said to the other guys, "I'm okay, by the way."
Okay. Yeah, I heard you. Sorry. And I apologize to those watching for the extreme change in volume right there.
Oh, my bad.
Right. Astrea, you're up. You are grappled, your speed is 0, and you are actually sort of slowly sinking. It's not necessarily trying to move you to the deep. It is just letting you... it is just enjoying the fact that you are just underneath the water level. It doesn't need to take you deep. It just has to wait for you to drown less than an inch under the water.
Yep. I mean, he's touching me, so I'm touching it.
Sure, but that doesn't... Yes, but that doesn't give you advantage for any touch attack, unfortunately.
Nope. But that means that I can... Can I have at least semi-decent dice rolls on my damage, please?
Constitution saving throw.
Because a 4 on 2d10 is absolutely ridiculous.
But it is still 4 damage that it takes. Right, and it actually is now bloodied. Anything else?
Is Pax anyway... I mean, I'm losing air every time I do that, probably, because it's every time it has a verbal... every time I cast a spell, it's a verbal component. So I don't know how you want to do that.
Currently you have... I mean, let's put it this way. Unless there's... Let's make a Constitution saving throw. Right? Yeah. If you roll... I'll put the difficulty at 10. If you roll underneath a 10, you might lose a little bit of air. If you roll underneath a 5, you will lose a lot of air. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Come on.
So that's a 10. Yeah. Okay. So you start as you start feeling, yes, as you put up the command, there's a flurry of bubbles around your face. You're realizing that you won't be able to do a lot of these, right? But again, there is you have a hardy constitution. It should be okay. Actually, you know what? Let's do this as death saving throws. Right? As in, we'll have that Constitution save. Every time you hit under 10, you lose a minute, basically. So 3. If you lose 3, we will begin the drowning rules. If not, you just keep going. That sound fair?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so you now have... So you have not failed yet. Anything else?
Yeah, let's do... So, Pax, for now you're mainly paralyzed,
yes.
But you're not...
I'm a ragdoll right now. That's formerly grappling this marrow.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I do not yet have access to anything that would be able to lift the paralysis off of you. So, no, that's it.
Pax, could you check your microphone? Because I'm hearing you very, very low. I boosted you very low, but I don't know.
Strange.
Okay. Astrea, is that your turn?
How close to the surface am I?
You're maybe 30 centimeters under the surface of the water.
So I can see outside of the water.
Yes. Technically, I guess.
Can I see the reef?
I see where you're going with this. I guess so. Yeah, you could.
I vanish outside of the Meru's grasp and just appear on the reef.
Okay. As once again, you've blinked out of this creature's grasp. You do not hear its wail. However, you do not well, do you notice its turning face as the green glow sort of flashes in anger, and it turns its attention to the other, now floating body of Pax?
I was expecting that, but that means that I can get air, and that I'm actually out of its grasp. So there are more things that I can do.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, Pax, could you look, as the astral marrow is going to turn its attention to you, could you look up what bonuses? I'm pretty sure I have advantage anyways, but with paralyzed, it might be an automatic crit.
I believe it is.
Okay, I forgot, yeah.
Yep, any attack that lands is an automatic critical hit.
Okay.
If you're within 5 feet of me, which it is.
Does a 16 hit?
Meets it, beats it.
Okay, so that is going to be 2d8 plus 3. Okay, that's going to be 9 damage from the bite, and as it's going to and a 10 with the mitts. So as it sort of in frustration, there's a moment where it maybe sort of tries to go up, sees an easier target, rushes down, but it's clumsy in a way. As it rushes towards you, frustrated, basically its attention taken to the creature above, to this one. But Pax, as it grabs you, this one, it dives on you, and you find yourself going deeper, almost into sort of 20 feet deeper, basically, as it is pushing you towards the wreck inside the ship, almost trying to get away from Astrea or any other that might intervene. Pax, it is your turn.
It's going to be a con save.
Yep.
One below. It's a 14.
Yeah. Yeah, Panda, I can barely hear you. I don't know what's
really? What the
Yeah.
hell?
So unfortunately, right. So still paralyzed. Astrea?
I'm gonna dive back in behind the marrow. I can still see the marrow, right?
You can see it. It's about 30 feet underwater. It's about 10 meters underwater, and it is heading towards the belly of the ship.
Yeah. Okay. Can I see Pax or not?
It is holding Pax.
It is holding Pax.
Yes,
okay.
it is grabbed Pax. It is, and you can see that there is a You can see that there is a shimmer of there's a boiling point where the water in his blood is hitting the ether, and it is immediately igniting into vapor, because that's what water does. And so you can already see the vapor fumes basically coming out from the wound.
What is gonna be the most? It's gonna have a turn before Pax's next turn. I'm gonna go bonus action. I've got 60 feet to cast Healing Word on Pax, so Pax is gonna get a Healing Word.
Okay. Pax. That is 9 back.
Since I cast a spell, I am going, and it's bloodied. I'm gonna cast Toll the Dead at it.
Actually,
yeah.
Astrea.
Yeah.
What's the die that you're rolling for the healing?
D4.
Roll me another D4.
Yes.
Right. So you get Pax, you get an extra 1 hit point. As you were literally gobbling up ether, you realize that your spell is actually more potent than it should be.
Okay. Yeah. And I am going to Toll the Dead the Marrow.
Yep, Toll the Dead the Marrow.
Ooh,
So
good one.
that is Constitution? Wisdom.
Wisdom.
That is a 2, so it takes 9.
9.
Technically, you're going to be rolling another d12, please.
Don't mind if I do.
Jesus. Okay.
Yeah.
How does the Toll the Dead manifest usually, Astrea?
Toll the Dead is going to be well, there's always that loud noise that you get with Toll the Dead. Because it's literally a gong. I imagine more of a gong sound than a bell sound. But yeah, that low gong sound reverberating, that is how it usually manifests with Astrea. But being underwater, you've got more of the under the ether. The ether vibrates and small, and it's almost like it gets choppy, and it's going to cause some reverb waves. If I can
absolutely. As in, that's exactly what happens. So, as whether it's because it's underwater or because it is actually the ether, Gizmo and Farron, you can hear from where you are. That's that reverberation, that gong. You can actually see the shimmer of the wavelength upon the wave sort of hit the shore in front of you. As the Marrow's body goes limp and sort of slumps away. It is still sort of wrapped around Pax and sort of dragging it down, but you're not seeing any movement. Actually, you would notice that the it doesn't turn off, right? The glow in its fins and on those spines does not go dark, but it goes dim. The life in that light has gone out. The activity goes, but there's still that passive lighting that is still there. But yeah, you're pretty sure it's dead.
I'll dive further after Pax, trying to grab him.
Okay.
I mean, I should have the stamina to at least bring Pax back to the surface and untangle him.
Pax, can we have a Constitution saving throw?
Yes, sir. Am I clearer now, by the way?
Yes, thank you. Much better.
And that's
a natural 20.
That's a nat 20.
In the interest, I will say you managed to shake it off, as most likely what happened is the wound that Astrea had healed. It was the spine wound, I guess. And yes, you free yourself of. You find yourself just here, sort of floating with this marrow sort of wrapped around you. Well, not wrapped the same way as it had wrapped itself around Astrea at that constrictor move. Here it was pushing you down, so its powerful tail was behind it. So it had grabbed you, it had bitten into your into your shoulder, and it was pushing you down. Here you can find, you almost have to sort of break open the jaw to remove those teeth from your flesh. But other than that, as Astrea comes down, you are free of your movements.
Okay. Well, looking worse for wear. Seeing Astrea come down, shaking off the daze of that poison, he quickly looks around to see if that barrel is still secured and not heading down for impact at the bottom of the water.
I would say that it might have sort of broken a bit away because of the slack. It's being held in a way, but it's in no shape or form there's any danger. No.
Okay, good. Just looking up towards Astrea, starting to swim in her direction, because I have my mobility back. I move up to her. I just eye contact and I make the motion. Do we cut?
Okay.
Do we go back? Just.
Astrea is gonna point up.
Okay. And just gonna grab Astrea's arm, maybe by the elbow, and then just swim up to go up faster.
So both of you in camera sort of make the signals rise up. The camera stays just a little bit longer, just as we see that that Marrow's light sort of slowly dip to the bottom, rest within the belly of the ship, and just glow and die out. And that's where we're gonna end for tonight.
That was a close call.
I'm gonna say this out loud now, though, guys. Did we just kill Emil Markov?
Oh shit!
I think we're gonna have a second look at it.
We're definitely having a second look at the amulet, and then maybe even the corpse.
Yeah.
Anyways, friends, foes, those undeclared, thank you for watching. If you have been following us this far, you know the drill. If you just want a story, well, the next episode might be waiting for you. If not, I encourage you to stick around a couple more, maybe half a minute, as we will be giving you the after show, a bit of conversation about the whatever happened in this session, right? So, hope to see you there. See you in a moment. And we're back. So, guys, how are we feeling?
Tense.
I was the
Anxious.
one who scored the killing blow.
So, actually, technically, the rules of imbibing ether, which is any spell, the next spell of 3rd level or lower, the creature casts as though the spell slot expended was 1 level higher. So technically, Pax, you should have gotten an extra d4, so 4d4. And Astrea, I'm not exactly sure what they say about cantrips, so who cares, right? But normally cantrips, I just add an extra die and we're good. So basically, remember that as in currently imbibing ether for your spell casting is actually something that could be interesting if you have the resources afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, being ether resistant and not having spells, that's the thing.
True. And being and basically bypassing an entire puzzle by saying, you know what, I don't need to breathe for 15 minutes, so I can explore the ship almost at my leisure.
True, but genuinely, I thought that was going to be Pax's crowning achievement because I thought it was going to be a wrap. I genuinely thought it was going to be a wrap. When you hit me with paralysis and I had 2 hit points, if Astrea did not hit, that told the dead with near max damage on both die. I think that would have been a wrap for Pax. He would have been attacked at the bottom of the sea with 2 hit points left, death saves, and drowning, because you can't hold your breath when you're unconscious. Yeah. I thought I was dead.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks! I appreciate you more than Pax is right now.
To be fair, Astrea is extremely happy she had a final blow on that thing, because it's twice that it targeted her specifically.
Yep.
And at some point I was starting to feel like a damsel in distress and I'm sorry, so I can't.
Yeah, I think the idea is if Pax you had gone solo, it would have targeted you, and we would have had a one-on-one mid-water battle between you and it, right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of why Astrea insisted of
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
And
Pax
then-
would never have dived alone. I mean, Pax is a warrior. He's quite brutish, not as intelligent as the others, but, you know, his score isn't less than 10. It's 11.
Yeah.
I do imagine him when it comes to seafaring, outings, and especially salvaging a ship, you do not do alone.
Very
Creatures is one thing, but a beam can crush your leg and you're drowned on your own. Like, you don't go alone.
Which is exactly why I mentioned those pitons in those doors, right? Is keeping those doors open.
Yep.
Even if the creature might have been aquatically inclined, let's put it that way.
Yeah, that's why Pax did not go through rubble. He went through whatever flotsam was easily available.
Yeah, I like that we made it. So this is literally sort of. I like the fact that we made it almost a full session, a full half session, on this particular dive. I think because it could be just right. It's just 3 paragraphs, right? Is it gunnery station requires 30 seconds to swim to. The ship's cannon have degraded beyond repair. A magically reinforced cake of gunpowder has survived. However, and that's it. And so it's, and I guess, well, you know what? Let's get out of this water music.
Get out of the water. Get out of the water.
Just in general, get out of the water.
Yeah, I'm happy to have been able to use that soundtrack, by the way.
Oh, very good. Very good. Quick question, by the way, above the board. I didn't want to interrupt the flow afterwards, but paralysis causes what about incapacitation?
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering if incapacitation also equals you can't really hold your breath anymore. Which could be crucial if I'm going to fight sea
That
beasties
is true.
in the
I'll
future.
look into that. I'll look into that.
Because
Because I'm
want
pretty
the,
sure.
I don't
Farron,
want
could
to
you
be
look
holding
up,
the breath to be a game-breaking.
That's a good
advantage.
question. I mean, medically speaking, I mean, even people with locked-in syndrome still have kind of like they don't need an iron lung to breathe, right? So I'm not, but I'll look it up.
Just go drowning rules. You'll find it.
Yeah.
D&D keeping the breath. Yeah, I'm. To be honest, for this fight, didn't really matter. Because you were close enough to the surface, Astrea was right there, and we would have had that mermaid kiss, right, where she blows air into your lungs, and we have that very sweet moment. I just don't know how you do that with the crocodile.
Hey, lizardman! I resent speciesism.
Yes.
I mean, imagining you as the crocodile of from Peter Pan is actually funny.
But yeah, so you have one less terror to think about.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Though the thing that I'm saddest about is the legend. I really thought we were going to be able to raise the damn ship, and then now, oh no, it's broken down beyond repair. Ah, well, we're not getting off that easy.
The thing is, we still found a beam of good wood. We're probably going to be able to cannibalize enough to at least get something for us.
Sure. I mean, in real life, like this is something that they used to do sometimes, but it takes 4 to 6 months to build a new ship from even the well-preserved wreckage of and salvage of another one. So unless we want to have a hell of a time skip and a very competent crew, I mean, something to look at, perhaps. But
we don't know what else we're gonna meet on the island. What else we're gonna find. Plus, we have magic.
True. I mean, that's a hell of a mending cantrip use. I think we can't quite stretch it that far.
Once again,
No.
it is specifically mentioned in this book that mending cannot be used for ship repairs.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about mending. I was thinking about other stuff, dude.
Yeah, fabrication.
me.
Books
I'm
are
the
more
magical
like
character of the party.
guidelines anyway.
Nah, but the legend might be a dead end at this point, but who knows what we're gonna find.
So a paralyzed creature can't move or speak. Well, it shouldn't affect their breathing, though. So I don't see it. Sorry, we're still looking up.
I'm not sure.
No, that's cool.
It might be something that doesn't come up very often because not a lot of DMs are sufficiently cruel to paralyze their players while they're immersed.
And that's
How
where
about-
skill issue personal.
How about if I told you that that is actually not a reaction for the creature, but a full action? So it has multi-attack. It can do one bite and one mace attack. But decided, yes, you are. Of course, these things are dangerous. They have their spines. I'll just put it in a reaction. I did not expect it to go so well. Also, I had not read that it actually paralyzed, but I think that it was fun.
It was fun. It added to the whole sense of
Yeah.
danger. I mean, it should be like something you think about twice or 3 times or 4 times diving into the ether. So,
Quick reminder that we're still level 2 for now.
Yes, very
so
squishy.
That's still very much a deadly zone.
Very, very squishy.
listen,
I don't have
everything
access to
ended up
level
all
2
right.
spells.
Everything ended up fine.
Yeah.
Look, you don't have access to level 2 spells. I don't get good until level 5. It's all right.
Is it though? Is it pretty good?
No.
Okay.
2024 rules for fighters have made a class that was a bit of an underdog very shiny on early levels now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, action surge, recovery on a short rest. I have a lot more versatility.
Oh, and with the weapon and the weapon mastery makes things.
Weapon masters are
mastery is
so good.
I should just not use my boarding axe if I want to have weapon mastery.
Well, yeah, we determined. Yes, well, technically we determined that the weapon mastery for the boarding axe was the fact that you.
Yeah, it's
got,
the climbing
yeah, it's the
advantage.
climbing, yeah. But yeah, no, it's also the fact that Astrea just equipped with a knife, fighting against a creature that. Just a reminder: fighting underwater. You have disadvantage on all melee attacks except I think with trident, spear, unless you have a swim speed.
Are you sure I can't call on Gil for the beginning of this campaign? I feel like she's way more equipped.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Actually,
What a Genasi Storm Cleric, anyone?
well, that's the problem. Is that actually I think she would drown real quick
Yeah, right.
because her first instinct, oh, I can breathe this stuff. Bad idea. But yeah, no, yeah, and so you found, yeah, you don't. I think this episode right here with the search of the legend is gonna come up. It's gonna be more clear and more important later, right? You had a lot of clues here. You've got not maybe a better understanding, but you have more pieces of the puzzle. Now you just need to put everything together. The fact that two of you are going, did we actually kill the captain? Was already something interesting.
I mean, the art of the marrow you showed us was different than the first marrow that tried to get Astrea, which looked a lot more animalistic.
True. Now, what you have... Yeah, so this one, yeah. Again, that's because that's tokens, right? But the one that attacked Astrea It's the same one that attacked Astrea both times.
Ah, right.
I think I mentioned that.
You mentioned it.
Went over my head, sorry.
No worries. And in a way, it's how should I put it? Especially here in the Ethereal Expanse, because things mutate in different ways, and over time, means that no two Mara are going to be the same. No two Aether beasts are going to be the same, right? You're going to see Aether wolves are less of a species than a category of things that act in the same way. Mm-hmm. So one of them will have, 9 tentacles. Another one will actually have the head of a wolf, or because it's something, or it looks like a marrow, but a marrow that sort of shifted in a different category. Mm-hmm. So it's very much that if any of you know the game Dredge, it's basically you fish eldritch horrors. Let's put it that way. And every fish is. They said this is a trout, yes, but it looks nothing like the trout that is next to it because this trout has 3 eyes and that one only has 5, right? That kind of thing. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. Yeah. So the idea that you can recognize marrows between each other because they are not going to look the same at all.
That's really cool. With the ship, like the 2 running theories that I might have is either indeed it got cannibalized by the crew itself trying to survive out here, or it got cannibalized by whomever sank it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Got a theory that the captain came here, found the treasure, intentionally sunk his ship because he's a Mero, so he doesn't care.
Wow.
He was a merfolk back then.
Well, he was a merfolk, but he might have had an unfortunate adventure.
Or has stayed here too long, like the sign says.
The things will be made clear most likely in the next episode.
I think we're gonna need to go on the 3rd island, Sentinel Island, to have the full answers.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. It's always a strange thing when you're like, you can tell that the story. This is an above table thing that I have sometimes when you can tell a story wants me to do something. It's like when a video game when like there's a puzzle here that I haven't figured out yet, but I feel like an idiot, kind of like trying to poke around and not really having the motivation to make the decisions in character. So, it
is. We had this conversation last night as with 2 other GMs as part of our little French-speaking podcast, where we were going as at what is railroading and where does narrative. We were discussing interactive storytelling versus shared storytelling, and how interactive storytelling can move into railroading, right? And so, yes, you pretty much understand it. It's not a spoiler because you made that decision. You are going to Sentinel Island because that's where the adventure wants to take you, right? That's the next step, right? There is something that you're going to find there that is going to move the story forward. The same way that you had to come to here and everything was pushing you to come to Bulwark Island because that's where the food is, that's where the water is, that's where the camp is, that's where the ship is. There's a whole conversation, is this railroading? Ish, a bit, but this is still very much the tutorial.
But it's interesting because... 2 things. One, we know we're still in the tutorial because you told us so. Mm-hmm. So going along with the story is not a problem. And it's not a problem. And that's also your DMing experience that allows you to. Being stuck in a tutorial and in a railroady portion is not a problem when you have other things going around, like creating a functioning character dynamic between the characters and between the crew. So it gives freedom outside of the direct story.
Yeah, I think we came to the conclusion that I did at least, where railroading is not necessarily bad. Sometimes railroading allows the players to not concentrate on choices in the story, which allows them to create character choices in those moments.
Especially, you notice that in campaigns that are less sandbox or that have less of a sandbox moments, but that are trying to get you to a particular location. And I'm having to think about this a lot right now because I have an upcoming one shot to plan. And this one shot, you're supposed to tell a full story within kind of like a few hours. We're going to start at 6 p.m. if we're lucky, and then finish at 11 p.m. and hopefully tell a full story in there, knock wood. And I have to think of, Brennan Lee Mulligan talks about having to land the plane. You know that there are certain stations that you need to hit, but you still want to preserve player agency and not having them feel like you're the behind the DM screen being the puppeteer, just leading them from station to station until the result that you want. You still want this to be collaborative storytelling. And also let the dice be a part of the storytelling process.
Which is why, and I think I can say this now because by the time this episode comes out, Panda and Nader and I will have had that gig. But we're designing an encounter to be played as a one shot, and it's very much we have no idea who these people are, we have no idea, but we have exactly this amount of time, and so yes, at some point we're giving, okay, this is a sandbox, get the information, but at this time and this time in the session something will happen and we need to move to phase 2 of the story. It is very railroady. It is literally somebody saying, guys, you need to be somewhere else now, right? Yeah. But that's the only way when you have, and the same thing when it works in conventions, right? The idea is that, okay, guys, I have 1 hour left. I need to hit this mark. And so you need to kind of plan in that thing, okay, I know I need an hour for that final battle. I need something that allows me at 5 minutes before that hour mark to move into the battle. So yeah, so yes, railroading is a tool.
There's also a difference between, for me, like strong arm railroading and, well, in this case for us, in the game that we're doing now, having a more linear tutorial. Because for me, what railroading is often the intention of the GM. If you have indeed beats to hit and a time limit and a story that needs to be concluded within the time limit, then it's fine to strong arm railroad, because you are literally, indeed, as we said, telling a tale. In this case, I feel personally, and correct me if I'm wrong, if we went straight to Sentinel Island, just because like, hey, it's straight to the south, let's check it out because there's not too many currents there, and go to Bulwark from there, you wouldn't have stopped us.
No.
So that's the difference for me between a linear story that still has freedom and a railroaded story.
Yeah. And I would add, it doesn't feel railroady because the story is written in such a way that it's the progression between islands is logical.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course.
Very organic.
Yeah. Which is, and you'll see in the second chapter, where you also have these sort of open sort of sandbox where different places where you go, and there is no specific order planned in the book. They just say these are the places, but when you get to those places, sometimes it says, if you have this NPC with you, this is what happens.
Yeah.
At that point, I'm starting to wonder, should I railroad you into a certain order if you want to get all those interactions? Right? So that's also, but that's something that we'll discuss at the end of chapter 2. We'll see. I might do that, I might not. But yeah. Again, congratulations on the Marrow fight. That was... It could have gone very, very bad. It almost did. And... You know, I find it interesting that up until now, you have not had a single combat that went, oh, that was easy.
Oh.
You mentioned the squishy levels.
No, yeah, but...
We're rarely all together on a fight.
Oh, yes. I have been using ambush tactics on you guys since the very beginning.
What do you mean I'm taking the alert feat?
No, I mean, Fuckload of good it did Farron, you know? Like, he's happily kind of like hauling a pole out of the water right now.
Yeah. But I think that's also something along those lines, which is don't split the party. Granted, things can go very well, and you're very powerful. You're even now at level 2. You are very powerful creatures, right? And action economy is a real thing. If there had been a second Marrow, I would have been a bit more hesitant to throw that at just 2 of you, right? But I've seen what packs can do with a bite. This thing had 26 hit points. It's a crit away from not doing much, right?
Frankly, so are we.
Yeah.
That is very true. That is very true.
I was at 22 when you said you critted. I held my breath.
And not in game.
No,
Yeah.
for real. I was.
Yeah, no, because on top of that, when you said, oh, and since he's paralyzed, every subsequent hit will be a crit. Like, you know, the puckering was real.
Was real. I went, oh shit, what did I do?
MVP Astrea, 100% MVP Astrea. That's the second time you just pull me back from the edge.
And I did not roll well. On 2d8, I rolled a 6.
I know. I had 11 hit points.
Before I finished with those amazing, I don't know how they rolled cantrips, the rest of my spells were fucking useless.
Yeah.
Inflict wounds is supposed to be devastating at that level.
Yeah, but that's the problem with spells. You just get one naked die.
It's 2d10.
Like.
No. There's a lot of spells that got boosted in 24.
Oh, okay. Fair.
As in, literally all the healing spells double their dice. So healing word now is 2d4 at the start.
Yeah, I'm still on 2014 rules for most of it. Like the upcoming one shot that I'm gonna do is still gonna run on 2014 just because I haven't familiarized myself with the new rules enough. But there are some interesting things. I love the weapon mastery things. And I'm still gonna miss the tanky options of being a moon druid, where you can have the creature's hit points, but win some, lose some.
Anyways, we are going to we're gonna end here. As always, friends, foes, and those undeclared, thank you for watching. And we hope to see you soon on Waves of Starlight.
See you soon.
Yeah.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.